From MTN News, you're watching Montana This Morning.
I'm Megan Thompson here in Madison County on Burma Road next to the Big Hole River, where a golf course is being built. Coming right up, I'll tell you about it.
In party division, I'm Jared Hill with President Biden's latest efforts to prove he's fit to run as the first Democratic senator publicly expresses doubt he can win.
Alrighty, it is 6 o'clock on this Wednesday morning. Jane McDonald and Matt Elwell with you, and the sun is already on its way and rising over the mining city.
Yeah, it won't take long. The heat's going to be building, and we're going to be right in the midst of this heat again today.
Even at 2:30 this morning, it was pretty warm outside.
Yeah, the temperatures overall are fairly warm. We've been into the mid to upper 50s for most of the morning. It's not cooling down dramatically. Right now, we do have some areas a little cooler than others. Belgrade's sitting at 58 degrees here at the top of the hour, 43 in West Yellowstone. That's our cool temperature across the area. And that's not all that cool for West Yellowstone. Skies remain pretty clear. We may get a little bit of cloud cover trying to filter its way through the area through the late afternoon, evening. As we heat up, we get that air warming up. That tends to rise, makes the air a little more unstable. So more than anything, we just see a little bit of cloud cover, a little bit of a haze as you're looking out this morning. Daytime high staying into the 90s. I know the farmers and ranchers are all working hard to get the hay cut and stacked and all the fun stuff that comes along with farming and ranching. Today's going to be a hot one. Make sure that you're staying hydrated. I'll talk more about your hour-by-hour forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. Now, new this morning, after over 5 hours of discussion, the Bozeman City Commission voted to deny development of the Guthrie. The Guthrie is a proposed housing development on Villard and 5th, and the new building was highly protested by Midtown residents and beyond. During Tuesday's meeting, over 20 residents lined up for public comment, not including those online. A majority of them against the development, citing lack of parking, traffic, and neighborhood welfare as concerns. Others, in support of the development, argued a need for increased housing density for workers and students. But at nearly 12:15 this morning, the Bozeman City Commissioners voted no to the Guthrie in a 3-2 vote, ending developers' first ever attempt at using affordable housing deep incentives. And the Gallatin County Sheriff's Office is seeking information on a vehicle that may have caused a fatal Highway 191 crash. Now, the crash happened at around 5:45 immediately north of the mouth of Gallatin Canyon in the northbound passing zone area. That, according to the press release. The driver was headed southbound in a pickup truck towing a camper trailer. The release goes on to say that the Gallatin County Sheriff's Office and Montana Highway Patrol are seeking the public's assistance in identifying the dark-colored sedan. If you have dash camera footage of the incident or information about the vehicle, including the make, model, color, and/or license plate number, please contact the Montana Highway Patrol Dispatch at 855-647-3777. And the Big Hole River south of Butte has long been the focus of battles over development versus protecting the fishery. Now, a new golf course being built near Twin Bridges has some locals complaining they didn't get a warning about the project. Our Megan Thompson checks in with concerned Big Hole River enthusiasts.
Well, the construction of this golf course located along Burma Road, right next to the Big Hole River, has been something of a mystery for the locals in Twin Bridges, as well as people who use the river for recreation and for their livelihood. And some are calling for more transparency in this major development in Madison County.
Seems like all you have to say is golf course, and people, oh my God, have you seen it? I think there's an issue where there's not enough public information.
Linda Foy owns a gallery in Twin Bridges featuring her sweeping landscapes of Madison County, including the Big Hole River. She says it was a shock to her when she came across the development.
It's disturbing, when I drove out there and I came up over that hill expecting to see what I've always seen, and then to see that, it just hurt my heart.
The owner of the property is Buzz Warner, a businessman who splits his time between Utah, Wyoming, and Montana. He did not wish to appear on camera, but through emails and text messages, he says his goal is to keep conservation in mind for the golf course that will serve his family, friends, and customers. He also says the golf course will use far less water than the previous ranch land used.
I'm sure he's done due diligence on the property. I hear good things that he's tried to make it workable for all interests, and hats off to him. But it's still this hurts to the core in my personal case.
Glenn Brackett got his start in the fly fishing industry 50 years ago with R.L. Winston fly rods. In the small fishing village located near the confluence of the Big Hole, Beaverhead, and Jefferson rivers, Glenn built his own company, along with a lifetime of personal memories, including courting his late wife and hosting a wedding party at the property that was once owned by CBS anchor Charles Kuralt.
And if Charles Kuralt was alive today, he'd be fighting this, I'm sure, tooth and nail, or he would have never let that happen. Doesn't live up to the tradition, which is it's a ranch area all up and down that whole drainage. It carries that tradition forward. And when we brought Winston up here, that was our intention too, to keep that history rolling along with those traditions in mind and that history in mind. And it's just terribly unfortunate that this is taken place, and the land has gone through the change that just breaks my heart to see.
In 2019, Buzz Warner was recognized by the Wyoming Game and Fish Department for wildlife conservation efforts on his 6,100-acre property in southwestern Wyoming. There's no word yet on when the golf course will open. In Madison County, Megan Thompson, MTN News.
And of course, that's a story we're going to continue to follow here on Montana This Morning. Thank you very much, Megan. Now on the national scene, President Biden is getting ready for his first full day of NATO meetings in Washington. In a speech last night, the president emphasized why he believes the international alliance is critical for American interests as he works to turn the page from the questions swirling about his re-election bid. Meanwhile, former President Trump is taking advantage of the apparent fracture amongst Democrats. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest from New York.
Distinguished guest, welcome to the 2024 NATO Summit.
President Joe Biden, in full voice, kicked off the NATO summit Tuesday night in Washington. The annual meeting is expected to have a big focus on Ukraine.
Make no mistake, Ukraine can and will stop Putin.
Biden's forceful tone comes as his White House, campaign, and allies on Capitol Hill
We're riding with Biden.
push back against concerns from within the party that he's not strong enough to win another term. The latest, Colorado Senator Michael Bennet. New Jersey Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill Tuesday urged Biden to lead through a process toward another nominee.
Advocating as strongly as possible that we have someone that can really take that case strongly and energetically to the voters.
I think he is energetically and effectively addressing those concerns.
In Florida, former President Donald Trump back on the campaign trail for the first time in over a week, poked at Biden's struggles.
He's a very bad guy. Don't feel sorry for him.
Trump teasing a possible running mate ahead of next week's convention.
They probably think I'm going to be announcing that Marco's going to be vice president. I don't know. Because that's a lot of press.
All as his former VP slammed the Republican Party's newly approved platform, which makes no mention of a decades-long call for a national abortion ban. Mike Pence calling the change a, quote, profound disappointment to the millions of pro-life Republicans. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And on the political front, two of the senators on Trump's VP shortlist, J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, took aim at Vice President Kamala Harris yesterday. On international policy, President Biden has announced the U.S. will join Germany and Romania in donating additional munitions to Ukraine in its war with Russia. Now, back in some Church or State headlines, a story that we've been following since last week. New details are just coming out about the 4th of July shooting in Yellowstone National Park. MTN's Kagan Harsha has the latest for us this morning.
He was last seen leaving Yellowstone National Park, headed in an unknown direction.
The calls to 911 began shortly after midnight. First, a report that a woman had been held hostage by a man with a gun in Canyon Village. That man, 28-year-old Samson Fussner, allegedly threatened to kill that woman and many others, even promising to carry out a mass shooting.
He did threaten to shoot up a fireworks show somewhere in West Yellowstone or Montana.
That was Park County, Wyoming dispatch alerting officers, and park rangers were on high alert and ready at 8 a.m. the next day when Fussner allegedly appeared back at Canyon Village.
He is believed to have a pistol and possibly other larger weapons in his possessions, as well as a knife.
In their first public comments since the shooting, Yellowstone Park officials are now detailing what happened next. Park rangers encountered Fussner walking toward the service entrance of Canyon Lodge, armed with a semi-automatic rifle. That building, home to public dining rooms and employee housing, was occupied by approximately 200 people. A shootout ensued, and Fussner was killed.
It was immensely impressive how the National Park Service responded.
That was Rick Honinghausen, the marketing director for Xanterra, speaking with MTN the day after the shooting. Xanterra operates hotels and restaurants in the park. The park now confirms Fussner was a Xanterra employee. While Honinghausen and Xanterra declined our request seeking more information about Fussner's employment history, the company did release a statement Tuesday saying all lodges will reopen on Wednesday.
We're doing what we can to keep things going and to take care of our guests and to take care of our employees.
A park ranger was shot in his lower body during that shootout. We're told he has since been released from the hospital and is recovering, a scene that could have been much worse.
And that's why we're so thankful, because they did handle it so well.
In Yellowstone National Park, Kagan Harsha, MTN News.
And with this heat comes the risk of heat-related illnesses like heat stroke and heat exhaustion. And some populations, like our older folks, are at a higher risk. MTN's Zach Volheim checked out some ways the elderly can stay cool.
So many of us in Montana don't have air conditioning, and that can be really dangerous on a day like this.
With the heat sticking around for the foreseeable future, the risks that come with it cannot be understated. And there are certain populations that are at higher risk because of the heat, such as the older and elderly populations.
There's a couple of primary concerns when we're talking about older adults in heat. The first one is that as the body ages, it doesn't respond, it doesn't adapt to heat as well as it did when it was younger. And that can be caused by medications that they might be taking, underlying health concerns, and just changes in the body. So as the heat rises, it can be harder for an older person to stay cool, to keep their body temperature lower. The other thing that we worry about is we have a lot of older adults living in this community who live by themselves, and they can be pretty isolated. Maybe they can't get out of their homes on a regular basis, and if they don't have air conditioning at home, that can be really dangerous.
I'm not a big one on heat at all. The older I get, I think the more we wish we could be snowbirds.
So what are some ways that this population can stay cool and safe during this heat? Well, the Missoula Aging Center says that its Meals on Wheels program is a great option for those that are homebound.
One of the programs that we offer here at Missoula Aging Services is our Meals on Wheels program. And it's wonderful. It's a way of providing nutrition to older adults who are homebound within the community of Missoula. And people oftentimes think about the benefits of the food itself, but another really important benefit, especially during these very hot time periods, is it provides a daily check-in.
And besides the Meals on Wheels program, there are also places like the Missoula Senior Center, a place that is cooled and has plenty of fun to offer.
We open at 9. We're going to stay open till 5 while it's hot like this. We have lunch every day at 11:30, activities all day long, and in the afternoons while it's hot like this, we're going to be showing some movies, and folks can just get out of the heat, come and get something cold to drink and sit in our air conditioning and watch movies with us down here at the Senior Center.
As the temperatures remain high, be sure to keep yourself cool and safe in the heat, and keep an eye out for those that might be struggling with it. In Missoula, I'm Zach Volheim, MTN News.
I mean, all great things to keep in mind during this sweltering
and I
heat.
think that's really the thing. Find ways to stay cool,
Yeah.
check on the elderly,
Yep.
make sure that everybody has what they need.
Yeah, absolutely right. Now, a lot of kids I know, they will be out and playing today. I mean, sun's out. As long as they have their sunscreen and a good water bottle with them, why
Yep.
not? But look at this. This is over in Milwaukee. I'm talking the 3 Bs. Baseball, Brewers, and bikes.
Ah, perfect.
How fun is that? All the members of the MLB Brewer team got together with some of the local kids in the area.
That's a cool idea.
Helped them build bikes.
That's fantastic.
Whether it be tricycles, big 2-wheeler bikes, and beyond. They were out there helping them on the field. And then afterwards, you know what? The kids got to take them home.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I mean,
what a cool outreach. the
Perfect for
Brewers are doing.
summer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ideal. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of bikers over on the roadways here in
stuff.
Bozeman and all around southwest Montana. So be on the lookout and keep hydrated if you're doing that. Now, we're going to take a short break here on Montana This Morning, but when we come back, well, we got some interesting neighborhood news coming at you.
These are fake deer, but many in Anaconda say they're dealing with a real deer problem.